Welcome back. Now, murder convict Ntuthuko Shoba is filing an application for leave to appeal. Shoba is currently serving a life-term sentence for orchestrating the murder of his then-girlfriend Tshegofatso Pule back in 2020. The High Court found Shoba guilty of plotting to have Pule killed after finding out she was pregnant. eNCA senior reporter Silindelo Masikane is following the story, and she joins us now live. Well, Sli, we know that Ntuthuko already knew that Tshegofatso was very heavily pregnant. She was 8 months pregnant at the time, and he allegedly pretended to accept her pregnancy. But for today, Sli, take us through Shoba's application.
Well, essentially, Ntuthuko Shoba has brought an application for leave to appeal his conviction as well as his sentence. He believes that a different court, a higher court, such as the Supreme Court of Appeal, could find that the reasons in which this particular court found him guilty on, they may come to a different conclusion. He says that a different court may put different weight in terms of the evidence that was against him. And of course, his lawyer, Louis Bernard, had to actually argue or, put the facts of the application to the very same judge who actually convicted and sentenced Ntuthuko Shoba. And some of the reasons that were brought forward in terms of the inconsistencies that were picked up by his lawyer in terms of the reasons put forward by the judge. He says that there are some issues with regards to how much weight the court put on the confession of Musgaise Malepane, saying that there were inconsistencies in terms of what he said with how him and Shoba knew each other, saying that, Malepane claimed that, he sold cigarettes and alcohol, but sometimes backpedaling on those issues. Also raising some concerns with the time codes at which Shoba as well as Pule were seen outside of his complex before Musgaise Malepane had actually picked her up to essentially kill her, saying that a different court may find that the reasoning by Judge Stuart Wilson in terms of the time frame, a different court may find that reasoning, they could come to really a different conclusion essentially. So those were the arguments put forward, some of them by the advocate, Louis Bernard, and of course the state responding, saying, look, the court did not err, of course opposing the application, and from what we understand, the judgment will be delivered on Monday at 11 o'clock here in the South Gauteng High Court.
But I also understand, Sli, that there was an issue raised about the incident that was also discussed extensively during the actual trial. This incident happening at a McDonald's, I believe on the West Rand.
So that particular incident, from what we understand, was the first attempt at Tshegofatso Pule's life. From what we heard from Musgaise Malepane, he said that Shoba had initially wanted him to pick her up from a eatery, a McDonald's restaurant. At the time, I think it was in the south of Johannesburg, Masego, and that attempt did not actually come to fruition, which is why another plan was then devised to end Tshegofatso Pule's life. And what Mr. Louis Bernard was telling the court was that it seems he believes the South Gauteng High Court put too much weight on that particular issue, saying that another court may find that the facts around that incident could find that Shoba had nothing to do with it.